fun is it for you, even though you have a veteran player going on the disabled list, injured list, but an opportunity for somebody that 27th rounder played with Kyle in college, first time at the big league level. Is that exciting for you to have that conversation?
Well, you know how it is. Yeah, I said it. I said it the other day when we talked about Peter. I love this. When young guys get to the big leagues, they're here for their first day. It's special. It really is. It's something that all of us who played will never forget. And the conversation today was great. Red was in there, and the pitching coaches, and you could tell that Phillip was really excited. So. And we'd met in spring training, sort of a brief exchange right when he flew in, and it was late the night before that we were going to go to Florida. So nobody was down on Salt River, and he came to the park, and I was one of the last guys there, and so that's when we first met. So that was a nice conversation. But I'm excited for him, man. I mean, this could be a start of a long career. We'll see how it plays out, right? You never know.
What's his repertoire?
The kid's got some talent. I'll get to that, man. That's a good question. Hey, that'll wait. Solid. And I'm going to tell you. Where was I?
You're about excited.
Was I babbling?
No, you're excited about seeing the opportunity.
Fastball slider change.
He's dominated the minors this year. What have you really seen and liked or heard from down the farm?
Well, the numbers in AA were good. Right. The AA numbers were good. The AAA numbers, internal numbers looked okay. There was a couple of bad outings that elevated the ERA. But our reports, which are the most important for us, right, as opposed to maybe some of the statistical stuff that maybe sometimes is not properly evaluated, that he's throwing the ball well. He's making good pitches. The swings against him are, more or less in his favor. So, the reports have been good. That's why he's here, because he's performing. He deserved this call-up from what our minor league people have said.
From what you've heard down there, and from what I've heard, he really gets into good counts and attacks very early in the strike zone. Do you feel like those are things that should be able to translate up here?
Well, I think that translates for any pitcher, Thomas. You can be a pitching coach. Attack early, get ahead, wipe guys out. Thomas, were you a pitching coach in a past life or somewhere back in West Virginia growing up?
Not in West Virginia. I did pitching coach a little league team.
You've got pitching coach speak, Tom. Stay with it.
Will you hire me if something comes up?
Well, I'll put you in the mix. That's not my call.
There we go.
But you'll be in the mix. Get your resume. Get your resume out to Rosenthal and Wilson.
Hey, buddy, your bullpen has done really well this year. It's been a strange year for them. Kind of. I don't know if they've been leaned on like all that, like really high stress. But whatever they're doing, it seems like they're doing. What do you think?
Well, I think statistically we're doing real well, right? Overall, hey, check the numbers. What do they say? Who says that?
I got a number. But sometimes the numbers, you can interpret them wrong. Right? You just said,
hey, you really can't, right? But in this case, I think they speak for themselves. They've done a nice job. And it's been that way pretty much the whole year. And hopefully it continues, because we're going to need those guys if we're going to get to where we want to be. So, again, for the greater part of this season, right, going on 2+ months now, they've been pretty reliable. You can tell by obviously statistically what they've done. But there's been some big outs garnered and some pitches made by each and every guy. And there's probably a few guys who say, hey man, I can take this up a little bit too, and I can do better. And that should that bodes well for the future too. But again, just the adding guys, some guys get a little banged up. That's part of what happens during the course of the season, but we've been overall happy with their performance.
How hard is it to gain consistency when you've got guys in the starting rotation coming and going, you're plugging guys in?
You can just contrast, the first 2 months of this year to the last 2 months of last year, where our starting pitching, I think, was probably as reliable as any pitching staff in all of baseball, and that's what got us to the playoffs. and this year it's been too variable. So to your question, it makes it tough because each and every night, the starting pitcher's responsibility is to give us a chance to win the game. Hang in there until our offense does its thing. Now, there are times when the offense takes over early and scores early and adds on, but over the course of 162 games, the reliability and the consistency of starting pitching is really the heart and soul of the club, and ours has been too variable.
What about Siwan? How long has he been dealing with that ab injury?
About 3 days. And someone will tell you, not sure how it occurred, but it's been about 3 days.
Buddy Cargo coming back to Coors for the first time, not wearing Rockies purple. What do you think tonight will be like for him?
Well, probably similar, but a little different than when we played him in Chicago. Probably a better question for Cargo, to really get how he thinks. But I know from a player's perspective, going through that a little bit when I was with different teams and coming back. It's a little different feel. It's a little strange playing against guys that you're close to, guys that you played with and walkered next to, and rode on buses and planes and had dinner with. I mean, friends, true friends. So it's a little different, but I'm telling you, once the game starts, the competitor and the professional and all that takes over, and that becomes the main focus. But it'll be, I'm sure, a little bit strange for Cargo coming back here as an opposing player. He had such a long time, fruitful career. So it'll be a little different.
Buddy, with Ramon today, it's the second time he's facing the Cubs in 1 week.
Yeah.
What's the challenge of facing a ball club in 1 week? And for Ramon, it wasn't his greatest start. His last one. How does he improve?
I don't know whether he was really good those first 4 innings, and then Contreras got a blooper, and then Hayward got jammed, and then he hung a breaking ball. And that's what happens sometimes when you hang a breaking ball. Now it's 3-0. And the next inning, I think he got through it. And then the next inning, he gave up a couple hits. But I thought he did great. So I don't know whether he needs to improve on anything except make a couple better pitches when if guys are off base. But we don't know how this is going to turn out. But it's the same for both teams. We played them 4 days ago, and then they played us 4 days ago. So so we're just playing again. So it's really not that big a deal, except whoever plays better wins the game.
Are there any adjustments that get made during those 4 games?
Well, yes. Well, for sure. I mean, strategically, we're going to do a couple things different to a couple of their hitters, and us against Darvish, we're going to do a few things different offensively for sure.
In this age of launch angles and dip and rip, do pitchers have to start thinking differently about elevating pitches in the zone, fastballs up high, and isn't it kind of counterintuitive to what pitchers generally are taught to do?
Yeah, that's been going on now for a number of years. The ability to pitch up in the strike zone and to utilize the high fastball. That's become prevalent. And the trick is, it's a fine line there now. If you throw the ball at the proper height and he swings, it's great. If you throw it high and he doesn't swing, it's a ball. Mm-hmm. And if you throw it a little lower and he swings and hits it, it's usually a homer. So two out of those 3 are bad. So you really can't live on pitching up in the zone. But if you do have that ability as a pitcher, and there's 400 pitchers out there, to be able to throw the ball at that certain level all the time, it's an advantage. So I think all teams, us included, are trying to find those types of pitchers who have that ability to throw a 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball at the right height where a hitter will swing and not take it, and not have it be low enough where he's going to crush it or high enough where it's a ball.
How's that going?
Well, at times it goes okay. And other times it doesn't go so.
Thanks, buddy.
That's why we play, to find out.
But just time heals, and it's going to be weird for sure today and stuff like that. And I just hope he doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But he's swinging the bat pretty good right now, so hopefully we can slow him down.
Fans usually boo the visitors, but in the case of Cargo, it's okay to cheer for him a little bit, right?
No, yeah, you should. They should. I mean, he's done so many great things here, and I mean, hopefully they put on the board something for him. I mean, I would think they would, and give him a nice little standing O. I hope the fans come out and appreciate what Cargo's done for us. And, as a player, he put up great numbers, and also he helped us out to get better at baseball. So he's a huge impact on us.
Obviously on the all-time 25 team, but where do you rank Cargo just so like franchise greats, or is he an icon?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he's top 5. I mean, he's been out there. He plays every day. I mean, he's done so many great things here, and he's been unreal. I mean, I think he's one of them. I mean, everyone has their own vote, but in my opinion, Carter's one of the best players. I mean, he was a 5-tool player there for a while here, and he was doing some special things.
It'll be Father's Day this Sunday, so it's already almost 2 years since your walk-off cycle. And I'm curious about your dad's reaction that day and what it was like for him when you guys talked about that moment.
Yeah, I think they were all together having a barbecue on Father's Day, and so my whole family was watching it. Mom, dad, cousins, grandparents, aunts, uncles, all of them. So they were all really excited. They still couldn't believe it even when it was over, but it was a special day. It was really fun, and it was nice to have an off day the next day to really relish in it and kind of just like not have to worry about getting ready to go play a baseball game. It was cool.
Did you talk to him the next day then a little bit more?
I talked to him that night after the game. Yeah, right after the game. So it was awesome. Yeah, it was cool.
Thanks, Nolan.
Yeah.